Hey, Chad, great to meet you. I understand that you've been a realtor for a while and that now you're using Jonathan Zabraki's CPS3 program. So first, just tell me about what sort of real estate you did prior to meeting Jonathan.
Yeah, I've been in real estate going on about 6 years now, and primarily residential. And yeah, I just been consistent six-figure maker since I started. But working 60 plus hours a week, missing family events, family time, always answering my phone, always on my phone. If I'm not somewhere, I'm at home, like nose deep into a cell phone. So uh, yeah, that was kind of my life prior to the CPSS here.
Okay, and so when did you? Jonathan's added a third S. I know when you started it was a complete
Yeah,
proven signature system. Now it's the complete proven simple signature system. So
right.
they added that third S.
The third
But I know
S.
you've been just saying CPSS for so long. But anyhow, so when did you start with CPSS, CPS3? When did you start with that?
It's probably been about 18 months ago, year and a
18
half.
months. Okay.
hmm
And let's talk about the business side first, and then we'll talk about your personal side. So what happened on the business side of things for you?
Yeah, I mean, I just learned pretty effective ways to implement simple ideas on a complex level, if that makes sense. But there's a lot of nuance that goes into what Jonathan teaches, and being able to take that and focus on a different price point. Where prior to, I probably had some fears that I'm not good enough for that higher price point, or I'm not ready for it, or those clients are too difficult to work with. I had all these preconceived notions in my head about it prior to.
Okay, cool. So I know Jonathan has 11 ways to attract cool premium leads. Are you
Mhm.
using any of those ways?
Yeah, absolutely. I focus and implement only on one of the 11 ways, or most of the 11 ways to some degree. But the open house was the first thing that I did right off the bat. Open house strategy. I was broke and didn't have any extra funds to spend on another thing. So free sounded pretty good. And it was doing the complete opposite of everything I'd ever been taught about open houses.
Okay,
And it,
I talked to Betsy a couple of days ago, and she pretty much said the same thing word for word.
yeah,
She started with open houses because it was free, didn't cost her anything to do, but she had to throw out everything that been taught before and do it completely differently, and
right.
her results improved incredibly because of it.
Yeah. I mean, old habits are hard to break, but that's what a program is for. And, being able to have repetition and always have access to role playing. So that helps a
Okay.
lot.
And so this is COVID year, 2020. Open houses got shut down. So did your business shut down along with it, or what happened there?
No, I mean, one of the other ways Jonathan teaches would be having an ultimate human list. And with these group of people, it's not some crazy number. A lot of realtors are taught about having a sphere. And the more people you have in that sphere, the better. 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 people. But Jonathan is focusing on 200 people. And so when COVID really hit, I just started pouring more into those people, making phone calls, checking on them, and just having really good dialogues with people. And through that, getting introductions, figuring out what they need to change in their life, introducing them to other people that can help them. And then, once we got through that kind of weird month of March, April, my business just, it didn't skip a beat. In fact, if I did miss any business in March or April because people were waiting, now my last 2 months have just doubled. So I mean, I've got like 8 closings in June for I don't know, roughly 65 grand. I've got another probably 60 grand in pending, just from business that I did in June that's scheduled to close over the next 30 to 60 days. So it's on fire.
I think what people have to understand is because you're talking about open houses and in a way, the sphere of influence. This isn't new. Like everybody's doing this,
Hmm.
but it's the dialogues, it's the scripts, it's the way you do it that's so different, right?
Yeah, it's just next level thinking, right? It's all stuff that we know as human beings, common sense,
Yeah.
how we like to be talked. We don't like to be sold. And so it's just kind of a deeper um, refresher course, if you would, on how to be a human again.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
when you become a realtor, you're taught how to be a robot, how to tell everybody in the world that you sell real estate and ask for referrals. And that's just not me. It feels dirty. People avoided me. You know, it's like the multi-level marketing stuff. It's right up there with that.
Okay. So your business is doing awesome, but I imagine you're working a lot harder now.
Probably about half as much.
Oh,
So
okay.
from consistently 60 hours to maybe 30 hours a week.
Okay. And
So
so what effect has that had on you and your family?
it's been great. You know, I'm home every day for dinner. There may be the occasional once a month where I've got to go meet someone to help them, but for the most part, I'm home every day for dinner. I tuck my kids into bed every night. I get to play with them. I take breaks throughout the day that are dedicated to hanging out with my kids. I answer my phone during scheduled time that Jonathan, kind of taught me how to time block to respond to people's calls. You've got this fear on, I'm missing something. They're going to be so mad at me if I don't get back to them. Nobody cares. They all just want you to call them back when you can. And if it's a scheduled time, like from 3 to 4, they're none the wiser and they don't really care. In fact, they almost respect you a little bit for setting boundaries.
Okay. And what do your weekends look like now?
Well, Sundays are very important to me spiritually and family wise, so I don't work Sundays at all.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I maybe work 2 to 4 hours on a Saturday.
And just really quick, I saw you've got a thermometer that that's
Oh
tied
yeah,
into your vacations. How does that work?
yeah. Well, I just want to do something fun to tie something fun for the kids in, and so for every 2 families that we help, we're going to pick a project to serve in our community. We're going to find ways to do some things, and we laid them all out. And then, I forget what the other parameter was, but we set another parameter that for every, that's what it was. I think every 6 to 10 open houses that I commit to doing the right way, and at finding at least one cool person to be my new friend and potential client, that will go on a vacation. So we've got our next 6 vacations lined up for the rest of this year.
What 6 vacations this year?
Yep. Yep. I only work 40 weeks out of 52. So
I've never spoken to a realtor that has said anything even close to that.
it's definitely not typical. I talked to some realtor colleagues and they're like, dude, you're going on vacation again. Weren't you just on vacation? And I'm like, yeah.
Very cool. So
So,
CPS3 is probably more income, but it's also dramatically.
I mean, it's everything.
Yeah, yeah.
The stress level goes to virtually nothing. The bank account goes up. I'm investing. Prior to I never really had enough left over to invest for retirement and for my future. So I mean, it's just opened up so many doors. I have tax problems now. I gotta figure out ways to
You
look
make too
like
much money.
I'm broke. Yes. So all the problems you hear people talk about, and you're like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can directly attribute it to the last 18 months, working through this system.
Very cool. So would you recommend this CPS3 for new realtors or experienced realtors?
Well, I think if you're brand new, this is a must do before you learn any bad habits that all the other realtors are going to try to teach you, or the other coaching programs. So if you can get this, if I got this from day one when I was brand new, or I would even start this if I was starting my real estate license, like to go through that process. And that way I could hit the ground running already with my pipeline loaded, because I'd be calling people while I'm going to school saying, hey, I'm not there yet, but kind of going through some of the dialogues Jonathan teaches. So 1,000%, this is the best thing that you can do as a new realtor. For seasoned realtors, I would say only do this if you hate your life. I know that's kind of rough, Most people love helping, right? Realtors have a heart to truly help people get what they want. But at what cost? What are you
Right.
giving up in your life? What are you giving up that you're missing? Do you have that phone glued to your head? If that's not who you want to be and what you want to do, here's a system that's going to teach you how to do it. It's going to be hard for you initially, for your
Taking
brain
12 weeks
to,
a year off, that's tough.
yeah, you got to dump out the garbage, and you got to realize how simple this really is. Most realtors, myself included, before I did this, we overcomplicate everything.
Okay.
Everything. There's systems and chatbots and widgets and click funnels and websites and landing pages, and then we get into our listing presentations, and they're an hour where you just throw up on somebody, and at the end of it they're exhausted and you're exhausted, and we still don't know whether or not they're moving forward. So just having something where 10 minutes, within 10 minutes of meeting somebody, I can tell them we're either shaking hands, we're working together, or I tell them, hey, I'm not the right fit for you. You probably should find someone else.
Wow.
So,
Well, cool. I want to thank you for your time, Chad. And now
yeah,
I've got some thinking to do because I might want your lifestyle.
for sure. I mean, everybody can do this. That's the ridiculous part. It breaks my heart. I see people struggling and complaining about stuff, and I'm able to give back. Like I do a bunch of donations, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but I wouldn't be able to do that stuff if I didn't have this. And I think anybody can change a career like this. If you're miserable, like, this is cool. This is something everybody can do.
Very cool.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Chad. Where's your next vacation?
We're going camping, I think, up in Oklahoma. We're renting a cabin
Oh,
for,
nice.
yeah, about 5 or 6 days. Going to do some fishing, do some hiking, kind of get out in the wilderness, and then we've got our big, hopefully Hawaiian vacation is the big one at the end of the year. So
Sweet.
but
All
we're
right.
going all out for it, not like cheap Hawaii. I've never been, so I want to do it all.
Do it all. Very
Yeah.
nice. All right, Chad. Thanks again
All right.
for chatting with me, and enjoy your
Yep.
vacation.
Good luck, everybody. Do it. If you're wondering on the fence, just do it.